Hey there, Storm fans, Bryant Cook, and today we're playing Pioneer Lotus Field Combo, my favorite deck in the format. I absolutely love playing this deck, and it's received a pretty interesting update with March in the Machines. I'm talking about Chandra, Hope's Beacon. It's 4 red, so 6 mana total for a Chandra Planeswalker with 5 loyalty, and once per turn you can trigger this ability where it copies a spell. Okay. An instant or sorcery spell, I should be more specific. And then the plus +2, add 2 mana of any color, +1, look at the top 5. You can cast an instant or sorcery from those 5 until end of turn. It is not free, you do have to pay the mana value. And then -X, deal X damage to up to 2 targets. Okay, so why is this interesting? Well, you can copy hidden strings with it. Okay, well, if you've got a Chandra in play, you probably don't need to copy hidden strings, but it's something you're allowed to do. You can copy Pore over pages. A little bit better than hidden strings. You know, I'm into it. Well, more importantly, when you go to win the game. So after you've resolved Emergent Ultimatum and you've put an Omniscience onto the table, Chandra is a win condition. It actually took me a little bit to wrap my head around this, but it's there. So the idea is with Chandra Hope's Beacon, you can play it for free while you're winning, and then you can copy Bala Ged Recovery or hidden strings, whatever you got to do. And then you can -5 the Chandra, deal 5 to your opponent and one other target, whatever. You don't have to. It's up to 2 targets, so you could only deal 5 to your opponent if you so choose. And then it dies. You Bala Ged Recovery, and you get back the Chandra Hope's Beacon. So you actually need a number of Bala Ged recoveries in order to make this work. So if one gets exiled, it could be a little bit dicey depending on where the others are. But basically, you want to keep on doming your opponent for 5 with the Chandra. And you can copy Bala Ged recoveries to get back the other 2 Bala Ged recoveries, and so on and so forth. So that is how this deck wins. We're not playing Peer into the Abyss. I'm actually a huge fan of the Peer into the Abyss. Before I updated my list today, this is the list that I last recorded. I still love this list, but I've made a couple adjustments, so I still love Peer. I think it could be possible that Peer into the Abyss should be over the 3rd Emergent Ultimatum. I don't want to die on any hills, but I think that's a possibility that could exist. Okay, so that way you don't necessarily need to win with Chandra or Bala Ged Recovery, but it's an option. The nice thing about Chandra is they gives you main deck answers to things like Shield Dread or Thalia or whatever. So she's good in that manner. Yeah, so she just gives the deck a new angle of flexibility by sort of having a main deck sweeper. In the sideboard, I've cut the second copy of Depopulate and the, what was it called? I can't remember right now. Path of Peril, there we go, for 2 copies of Supreme Verdict. This is because Rogues has made a huge comeback in Pioneer due to Fairy Mastermind being a rogue. So now the former standard dominant deck exists in Pioneer, and it's basically another copy of Spirits, which is a very tough matchup for us. In order to beat them, I think that we want to be on Supreme Verdict, even though it's more difficult to cast than Depopulate or Ritual of Soot. So other than that, my list is the same. No Peer into the Abyss today. Instead, we're winning with Chandra's Hope Beacon, and then a couple copies of Supreme Verdict in the sideboard. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think it's good, or any other thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever? Always happy to answer those. And really, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I will see you in the first round. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Alright, welcome to the first round. We are on the play. Our opponent has revealed a Gigantha the Wellspring. We have a hand that doesn't have access to Lotus Field and doesn't really do a whole lot, so we're going to mulligan that. Here we have Sylvan Scrying, we have the Chandra, but we don't really need her right now, so we'll keep this and put her on the bottom. Play Besage Who Endures and pass the turn. So you could play out the Bala Ged Recovery, but I think with having 2 lands in hand, I'd prefer to keep it, especially in a build that wins using the Chandra. Basic Forest, okay. Let's go grab that Lotus Field. Plus, we have the upside of potentially using the Bala Ged Recovery to get back the Sylvan Scrying to go get our Thespian stage. Okay, so they've played Besage into this creature I've literally never seen before. Merfolk Ninja, Flash, Backup 1, Hexproof. So it's Bogles? Yeah, this is definitely Bogles. I don't know why it took me so long to realize. Okay, so we drew another land. We'll pass the turn. They play Audacity. And another copy of Audacity. So they're swinging for 5 here, which is a lot. We need to find that Thespian stage. Temple of Mystery. So we'll Bala Ged Recovery, get back the Sylvan Scrying, then play the Temple. Hopefully this finds something good. That was not something good. Put that on the bottom. Pass the turn. So with the way that this game is currently going, we win the race, but if our opponent just pumps their creature even a tiny bit, that changes. So here we'll go to 10. Next turn I play Sylvan Scrying, I copy, and then, ooh, that was good. Because that gives us a blocker. And actually, I can so one thing that could beat us here is if I get stage and then they besage you the stage. So instead I'm going to grab a Lotus Field, which seems a little bit odd, but this means that I don't lose to a besage you. And I think I'm into that. So we'll do this and pass the turn. I realized that if I had gotten Thespian Sage, I would have had a little bit more mana for next turn, but I think not losing to an opposing Besage is a little bit more important in this current spot. Sure, you have another flash creature. Okay. Griff's Boon. So 7 damage currently. Aqueous Form. Can't be blocked. So this wouldn't have killed me. They get these Scry. We'll move to blocks and throw our Grazer in front of the boss. And now we should have a win here. Oh, we definitely have a win here. Okay, so blue, and then black, hidden strings, yes, yes, no. And I'm going to pour over pages here just to make a mana going in, make my life a little bit easier. But also, if you get, well, I drew into it, but the Behold the Beyond. So if they give me the Behold, I'd have to discard the pour over pages, and that's just not ideal. So I think we probably don't need the Ultimatum anymore if I have the Behold. So we'll discard this, cycle a Vizier, untap. We'll draw a random card, and it's another pour over pages. Hello. Okay, pour. Another Ultimatum. Discard the Breeding Pool. Alright, so I'm going to use this Ultimatum. Kind of free to do so. Floating 6 mana. We'll get Lier, Chandra, and Omniscience. Okay. Let's pour over pages. Oh, it doesn't give you a choice. I thought you may choose... Okay. I thought I had the option of if I wanted to copy or not, so that's good to know. And now we'll make some more mana, copy the Pore, discard a Grazer. Okay. So I will now Dark Petition, grab the Omniscience, hidden strings, yes, yes, no, target them, and we will -5, cycle a Vizier. Okay. Now we have 10 mana, we'll play the Omniscience, Shimmer, grab a Vizier, Shimmer, grab a Bala Ged, get back to Chandra, cast the Chandra, and now we can cycle the Viziers, untap, draw, cycle Vizier. I'm trying to be careful on my next spell that I play. So I want a Dark Petition, but I also want to leave a little bit of open mana in case something goes wrong. I tend to play a little bit conservatively once I've won, because why risk the possibility of losing? Okay, so now we're going to double Dark Petition. And we will grab Bala Ged Recovery and some other spell. Hidden Strings, why not? So now I'm going to return 2 copies of Bala Ged Recovery. Oh, I already... Whoops. I forgot that I had already used the Chandra copy. My bad. So we'll target them for 5. And now we will return the Chandra. Cast the Chandra. They're at 7. So I believe here I can just copy this, returning the other 2 Bala Geds, and then that wins. Okay. So now we'll minus this, deal them a little bit more damage. Apparently takes a while. Alright, return the Chandra. Play the Chandra. Okay. And that is how you win using Chandra Hope's Beacon. We did it in the first game. Took a lot of clicks, but we got there. And we're facing Bogles. So this is a matchup where a lot of people just turn into Zacama control, and I don't hate it. That's actually the name of my deck list in Magic Online. Is when you have Zacamas, I like calling it Zacama control. When you don't, it's just pure Lotus Field. No real rationale, but I don't know. I like it. So we'll board out the combo aspect here. You can still keep Chandra in. It doesn't hurt. We're at 61 at the moment. I like leaving in the Lier, so maybe I do board out the additional Chandra. It's worth noting that Chandra does not kill creatures in this matchup due to them all having hexproof, so maybe I do board her out. I like leaving in both Dark Petition so that way you can find Zacama more easily. Lier works very well with Ritual of Soot. Yeah, unfortunately I think Chandra just has to leave. Okay. Let's go. This hand is good. Keep. Chrome Coast, and they pass, so no 1-drop. We found the Lotus Field naturally, that's great. Razor Verge Thicket, Bala Ged Recovery. So I'm going to Sylvan Scrying here. I think I'm going to get a Beseiju. We don't have a Wrath effect, so at least the Beseiju could theoretically buy me some time. And I'm guessing, ooh, they didn't do it, that they were going to play the end-step flash creature that we saw in game number 1. Rest in peace, that's fine. Yeah, you got it. And another Beseiju. I'm actually going to play out the Beseiju here. And I'm then going to... Like, we don't need to blow this up. And my goal is I'm going to keep an extra stage around that makes winning with Zacama easier. White. Light pause. You got it. Okay, I could have copied their Seachrome Coast there. But knowing that I'm just going to untap and copy anyway, why waste the clicks? Okay, pass the turn. We're lacking a payoff spell for next turn right now, or even a sweeper, but we do have a lot of looks. Wow, Damping Sphere. I do have the Beseiju in hand already, so that's not the end of the world. I wasn't expecting this. So we'll play the Bala Ged, pass the turn. Explains their keep, though. Why they kept a hand that didn't do anything the first 2 turns. They play in All That Glitters. And they grab, what is that? Staggering Insight. So +1/+1, lifelink, and whenever this creature deals damage, they draw a card. The Chrome Coast. I'm going to play the additional Thespian stage here. And then we will Beseiju the Sphere. They failed to find. Cycle Vizier. Untap. Draw. Another Vizier, so let's cycle that. Okay. I guess I don't necessarily need to find a Wrath. I could just bounce the Light Pause as well. But if they have some sort of protection spell, that would get in my way. If they leave those sorts of cards in, I have no clue. Discard the Temple. Let's pour over pages again. We found a Grazer. I don't plan on ever answering this Rest in Peace, but I could. Maybe I should. Alright, discard the Grazer. Tap for green. Let's just answer the Rest in Peace. I wasn't planning on it, but it seems like it's the right move. Now we'll Hidden Strings. Yes, no. Another Pour Over Pages. There's some sweepers. Discard an Otawara. Tap for white. Cast Supreme Verdict. And that pretty much just, if for some reason they were sitting on a Stubborn Denial this whole game, that just makes that play not relevant. And there's our Zacama. Hidden Strings. Yes, no. Red. white. Play the Zacama. Untap all of our lands. Shimmer of Possibility. We'll take another Shimmer. Blue. Copy our Lotus Field. And our opponent conceded. Sweet. We are officially 1-0 in this league. We got to do the Chandra win in game number 1. We got to do the Zacama thing in game number 2. Ideally, that's what we want to do in most matchups. So that was actually a pretty sweet showing for the deck list. Let's see if we can continue this into match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2 on the play against the BugCatcher. This hand is sweet. Keep. We have the turn 1 classic Arboreal Grazer into Temple of Mystery play. Making sure that I'm reading this correctly. It's been a while since I've played this deck. In fact, the last time I played it was the last time I recorded it. So if you control 2 or more other lands, Lair the Hydra enters the battlefield tapped. So this is untapped. And then we could tap it for a green for Arboreal Grazer into Temple of Mystery. Get that scry value. Don't mind if I do. Put that right on top. Love it. Basic plains. They're on the mono-white deck. This is actually kind of a tough matchup, and having Lotus Field here is going to be huge. Okay. And by Lotus Field, I meant Chandra. I'm sorry. I'm doing so many things, and I'm tired. I meant Chandra Hope's Beacon, because it will be able to kill things like Chandra, for example. I can't talk. I am out of it. Welcome to being, I don't know, watching my stream where I didn't get much sleep last night due to being a parent. But Chandra kills Thalia. There we go. It only took me 3 minutes, but I said the sentence that I was trying to say. If you would like to attempt to kill my Grazer, feel free. Grazer's already done its job. And there's the Thalia. Okay. We're just going to copy here. And then next turn we can play Chandra for 7 mana and kill Thalia plus another creature. This is another matchup where we become Zacama control as well. Opponent plays a Plains. Kythian, okay. I don't mind that. Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay. We're going to throw the Grazer under the bus here. I'm at 17. Take a draw. Another Lotus Field. I'll go to 15. The damage from Breeding Pool hurting here just a little bit. Alright, now we'll play Chandra. We'll minus targeting Thalia and Kythian for 2. So those 2 are now dead. They still have 4 power in play, so they have enough to kill this Chandra. Oh, I forgot to use the Chandra's ability. Oh, no, I did. I used the ability. Okay, sorry. Whew. Okay. I was thinking that I forgot to use one of her pluses, but you don't get to do that and the minus. I've literally never seen that card before in my life. Alright, enchant basic land. You control exile target creature or planeswalker until this leaves the battlefield. Okay, so I can Sylvan Scrying for Boseiju, kill this, get my Chandra back, and then kill their creatures. Or I can just win the game? Okay. Hidden Strings. The colors didn't work if I didn't draw this Hidden Strings with the Emergent Ultimatum, but now it just doesn't matter. Emergent Ultimatum. We'll grab Lier, Omniscience, and Behold the Beyond. Okay, so we're going to cast her 2 spells, discard our hand, and now we can just go get whatever we want here. I will grab the Omniscience. You can't keep it away from me. We'll grab Emergent Ultimatum. And why not? Another Hidden String. Alright, and now Lier happens. We'll cast the strings from the graveyard. Yes, yes, no. Tap for blue. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. That's 5 mana. 11 mana Omniscience. Emergent Ultimatum. The opponent concedes. Sweet. Well, Chandra did a lot of work there. Big fan. Okay, so maybe the fact of the matter is that Chandra is a win condition that makes your worst matchups a little bit better, and that's actually pretty interesting, so I don't mind that. Supreme Verdict, tougher to cast in this matchup than Depopulate or the Path of Peril. We're at 65 at the moment. Take out the Omniscience, the Ultimatums, and the Behold. Did I accidentally leave in Omniscience in the previous round? I might have. Because this is a clean 5 for 5. Oh, there's the Depopulate I didn't bring in. Okay. So that would make a little bit more sense here. I think I want to try leaving in the Chandra against a deck where I can target their creatures. We couldn't in match number 1 because they're Bogles. But I'm going to board out the extra Impulse effect down to 5 from 6. We'll resubmit this. We're opening up some pretty good hands today. Keep. My only fear here is that we don't have a Grazer, and that they'll play a Thalia before I can actually get to Ritual of Set mana. Grazer would make this hand a lot better. Alright, so they had turn 1 Recruitment Officer into Mutavault, and they're going aggro. This was my fear, that I wasn't going to be able to cast Ritual of Set in time. And the Mutavault being in play means that if they get my life total low enough, this might finish me off. Play the Lair of the Hydra, and then we'll Shimmer. None of these really help me, so I guess I'll take the Pore. Pass the turn. So if they just, like, activate Mutavault, attack for 7, that's incredibly good here. 3 mana for an Adeline, okay. And then they swing for 5, swing for 6, so I go to 11. This is just lethal next turn, I think. Oh, I forgot about the plus on the token. Yeah, I'm just dead. So my out here is finding Grazer off this Impulse. And I did not find Grazer. I died before I could cast Ritual of Set. We had a very good hand, and it just was not fast enough. Okay. They curved out. They didn't even need Thalia. Let's try it again. This time on the play. Yes. This hand is not keepable despite having 2 sweepers. We just don't have access to Lotus Field. Mulligan. So we have the Verdict. I think I'm supposed to keep this, even though I don't love it. Bottom the Dark Petition. Opponent also took a mulligan. I'm not as confident in this hand as I was the previous one. Alright, Temple of Mystery. Scry. There we go. Right on top. They play a Plains. Hopeful Initiate. Play the Besiege, and let's just Shimmer. I'm just going to take a land here. You could take the Grazer, but I want to be able to cast this Supreme Verdict, and I just value that a little bit more than the speed bump. Mutavault again. Dodging my sweepers. They swing for 1, I'll fall to 19. And there's Thalia. Good start. Play Lotus Field. And then we have to pass the turn. So next turn, I can play Botanical Sanctum, cycle Vizier into Supreme Verdict. 3 mana, and there's the Adeline. Once again, very good start for our opponent. They're stacking their triggers. We need to hope that the remaining 3 cards in our opponent's hand aren't high impact. We're taking 5 here. Draw. Bala Ged Recovery could get back Supreme Verdict at some point. We will cycle, untap, take a draw, Impulse, this time tap for white, Supreme Verdict. Pass the turn. Hopeful Initiate. Still has 3 in hand. Luminarch Aspirant. Okay, so they're still on the beatdown plan. They're going to pump their Initiate here. No combat. They have 2 left. Dark Petition. I'm going to play the Sanctum, which comes into play untapped as the 3rd land, and then I'm going to pour over pages. If we draw complete blanks here, well, I guess that was actually fairly good. I was going to say we could Bala Ged back the Supreme Verdict. I could Verdict again here. They have 2 cards, or I can just try to wait it out. Am I fine trading 2 for 1 when they have 2 cards left? So if I don't do anything, next turn they can pump. They can actually make their Mutavault bigger, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I'm going to just burn the Supreme Verdict. I just want to keep my life total up. They animate Mutavault into Thalia's Lieutenant. That makes sense. Still 2 cards. We draw another Lotus Field. That was huge. I'm going to Impulse. So I'm going to grab Hidden Strings. I mean, Zakama is great here too, but with drawing the additional Lotus Field, I can now Hidden Strings, Dark Petition, go get Lier. And then I don't think I can lose from there. Yes, yes, no. Okay, so this is currently 7 mana, which means that I'll have... Hold on. Petition is -2, so I'd have 0 mana floating post Lier. I could do 1 mana floating post Lier, but I don't know if that's actually worth it. So maybe I shouldn't have taken the Hidden Strings, and I got ahead of myself. So that's 7. Grab the Lier, play it, and then we just have to pass. So they could have the ossification that we saw in game number 1, but I'd be a little bit surprised if they left that in. And there it is. Okay, so they did leave it in. I could Bala Ged Recovery for it, so that's actually not the end of the world. They attack for 1, I'll go to 13. Draw. Sage was actually a huge draw here, because it's going to leave me with mana floating. So grab the Besaju, destroy the ossification, and now I get my Lier back with 2 mana, 2 Hidden Strings. Untap, untap. Yes, yes, and because it would get exiled if I don't anyway, might as well put it onto the Lier. Okay, so I have 6 mana. I'm going to Pore over pages, because that will make a mana, so that will bring me up to 7. Okay, discard probably the Breeding Pool. And now I'm going to Dark Petition for another Hidden Strings. Because this Hidden Strings just represents a ton of mana, and we have a number of impulses we can cast as action. Plus, I can also Bala Ged back the Hidden Strings for 1 extra mana. Why don't I cast one of the ones in the graveyard instead of burning your card in hand? Chamber of Possibility, we find Depopulate, I guess I'll take that. Tap for blue, we'll Impulse. There's the Chandra. Bala Ged Recovery, target the Hidden Strings. Hidden Strings untap. Yes, yes, no. Now that we have 6 mana, I want to increase that number, so I'm going to Hidden Strings again. Yes, yes, and yes. We'll put that onto the Lier. Tap for red. Chandra Hope's Beacon. Impulse, this will copy. Grab a Pore over pages. Impulse, take the Zakama. I'm going to Impulse, grab a Bala Ged Recovery, and then plus the Chandra. Pass the turn. Okay, that was a pretty good turn for us. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand, feeling good. Opponent has 3 mana for another Adeline. Okay, this game's over. That's not going to be good enough. A Recruitment Officer. Do you want to swing your Thalia's Lieutenant into my Lier? I will allow it, I promise. And they do, okay. And they're all going at me. Oh, okay, so the Thalia's Lieutenant got bigger from the Adeline token. That makes sense. Okay, I guess I'm a liar. I didn't block. Okay, so I guess we want to start off by copying Pore over the pages, because I don't want to copy Ritual of Set. All the mana in the world. Untap, untap. Discard Temple. Make some mana. Untap, untap. We'll discard a Grazer. Tap for black. Ritual of Soot. Okay, and now we'll do... I shouldn't tap for blue. Hold on. We'll do green. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. We'll do white, red. Copy a Lotus Field because I can. Zakama. Primeval Calamity. Alright, so now I will minus Chandra and we'll deal 7 to the opponent. Bala Ged Recovery. Get back to Chandra. We can cast Chandra. Impulse. Hidden Strings. Any order. Grab a Vizier. And now we'll go to combat. Attack for 3. This will put them to 10, which is actually pretty huge, because that means that 2 activations from the Chandra will kill them. Alright, so we'll cast the first Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And then the second Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. -5 at them. Okay, 5 damage. We will now Bala Ged Recovery, get back the Chandra. I guess we still have a Stormwind condition in the deck. Hidden Strings, untap, untap. Okay, just absolutely demolishing this poor humans player. Could even play another Zakama if we wanted to. Instead, we're just winning via lava axes at our opponent's face. This is some real, like, 2001 magic. Alright, lots of clicking, but we got the job done. We are 2-0. Let's see if maybe we can keep this going. I've been pretty impressed by the Chandra. Still missing Peer into the Abyss a little bit, but she seems incredibly powerful. Alright, match 3 coming up. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round 3 and on the play again. Double Grazer. We do have Sylvan Scrying for Lotus Field. I'll keep this, but if we don't draw running lands or Thespian stage, this hand could end up being a little bit stinky. Alright, after a couple minutes, our opponent is ready to begin. Botanical Sanctum, we will play Arboreal Grazer, put in the additional copy of Botanical Sanctum, and pass the turn. Our best draws on our next turn would be either Lotus Field or Thespian stage, so we have 8 hits that are incredible. Alright, turn 1 Overgrown Tomb, so probably the Greasefang deck. And if it is, we're going to need to draw one of those cards here because it's a very fast matchup. We missed. I'm not going to complain about the land, though, because it does get us a little bit closer to the Pore over pages. Alright, turn 2 Lotus Field. The land draw also opens up to Vizier, allowing us to cast Pore over pages. Looking more and more like Greasefang by the second. Witherbloom Command. Okay. They hit an Essica's Chariot, so that is a vehicle that they could return. Besage. I'm going to choose to play the Grazer and the Besage here, because it means that next turn I can Pore over pages, and if I hit another Lotus Field, I can play it. And they're just passing the turn. Good deal. And there's the stage! Okay, well, I think that I'm still supposed to Pore here. Untap, untap, and I actually did hit a Lotus Field. I'm going to discard Lair of the Hydra, and I'll play stage. So they could have a Besage, so there's no reason to just copy immediately. Wait for your opponent to tap some mana. Alright, so they have Godless Shrine. What's the move? Alright, so this is our window to copy. Because if we let this resolve, they could Besage you, and we don't want that to happen. We don't really care about Essica's Chariot coming back either. That card just does not matter to us. But it's worth noting that our opponent can still Besage you Omniscience. So we want to keep an eye out for that. They'll swing for 4. I'm going to throw 1 Grazer in front. And now the Chariot will return to their hand. We'll take our turn and attempt to win. 4 over pages. Tap and tap. Discard Lotus Field. Black. Blue. Hold on. I need triple green. So I could do green, black. That'll leave me think that this would work. No, it doesn't work. Unless I'm missing something. I'm just going to Impulse. Omniscience. But I think that they have Besage you, which is why they didn't play the Greasefang on 3. I'm going to just take the Vizier here. Cycle the Vizier. Draw. Another Scrying. Let's try another Impulse. We're 1 mana short of being able to cast the Behold. We'll take the Hidden Strings, which was a fine find. Strings, untap, untap. Yes, yes, no. Tap for black. Dark Petition. We'll go get Lier. I guess in theory I could get Emergent Ultimatum here. Yeah, that works. That for green. Play the Emergent Ultimatum. Lier, Chandra, and Behold. Pretty sure this works. So I haven't played a land yet, so I could always play a land with the Behold the Beyond. Alright, so Behold. We just need to get like an Otawara here so that way I can cast Hidden Strings. Alright, so we will grab Otawara if I can find it. There we go. And then a pair of Hidden Strings. Lier happens. Player land. Hidden Strings will tap their Overgrown Tomb and untap our Lotus Field. Okay. No. Yes. And then yes. So we'll put this underneath the Grazer. And now we're going to switch phases. And our opponent has seen the writing on the wall. No Boseiju for you. Switch this back over to card view. I haven't realized that I've been doing pile view all video. I actually prefer this. Okay, so they're a deck that boards up to 9 discard spells in a lot of matchups. I really like bringing in the ley lines. I had to check my last sideboard guide that I made, and it was just 3 ley line, and then you board out 2 shimmers, and then the 3rd Dark Petition. Well, today we're not playing 3 Dark Petitions, we're playing 2, because we're playing the Chandra Emergent Wind. So I think you're supposed to board out the 3rd Emergent Ultimatum. We'll hit submit. Game number 2, we're on the draw, and this hand just doesn't do anything meaningful. We're going to send it back. No ley line, and it's kind of slow. We don't have access to, I mean, we have Impulse, but like, I don't know if this is actually good enough. Could send back the Behold. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not expecting to win this game. I think if you go to 5 with a ley line, you're asking for a lot. You need them to not open up a fast hand, and no Boseijus. Speaking of Boseiju, there it is. Dry. That can go directly on the bottom. Pass the turn. Turn 2, Blooming Marsh. Raffine's Informant. Oh, there's a Parhelion. I don't think we're going to be in this game for very long. Another stage. I guess I can, in theory, Boseiju the Parhelion and buy a turn, but I don't love it. Land 3. Yeah, they just opened up with a very strong hand. Okay, so we will Boseiju the Parhelion, I guess. Like, we're just not winning this game, so this feels kind of useless. So they attack for 3. Next turn, they're attacking for 16. My math right? So go to 17. 8 plus 5 is 13, so I would go to 1. Okay. Draw. I mean, we would need a miracle, but theoretically, we could do it. We're also dead if they have any creature that crews the Parhelion that isn't Greasefang. Land number 5. Chariot. Okay, I'm dead to the Chariot, because this makes 4 power to crew the Parhelion. If I had mulligan 2 duress, or I'm sorry, had mulligan 2 leyline to avoid duress, it wouldn't have mattered. They never played a single discard spell the whole game. Okay, and just like that, we lose game number 2. Game 3. Resubmit. On the play. Cannot keep. Alright, it's a little slow, but I'm going to try it out. Play the Bala Ged Recovery as a land and we'll pass. We really need to draw another land as well, because I don't want to have to sacrifice the Thespian stage. From under duress, they have to take a Pore over pages. Draw for turn. Hidden Strings isn't awful. Need to draw land next turn. Forest. So this is Grizzly Salvage mana at the moment. Vessel. Okay. Kind of a lackluster turn for them here. Draw. It was a land. Okay. So now next turn we have Lotus Field plus copy. Not bad at all. Opponent goes to combat. They're just passing. Another Hidden String. So they're going to Boseiju my stage here. We have to accept it. There's nothing else I can... Like, this is the only window I have to do this, so... Yes. Go grab a breeding pool. Okay. Sacrifice the 2 Bala Geds. Pass. Concealed Courtyard. There's no vehicles in the graveyard for Greasefang yet. Well, there could be now. There's the Parhelion. Alright, so our time is running out. Draw. Third Hidden Strings. Let's cycle a Vizier. Untap. Draw. Visaiju. Pore over pages. We need something good here. Found a rebuy. Discard the Botanical Sanctum. Going to Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Tap for blue. Tap for blue. Pore over pages floating 1. That was not good. Discard the Lair of the Hydra. Full Impulse. Lier's not bad. I could also take the Lotus Field. I think Lier's probably the better pick. Yeah, I'm taking the Lier. I mean, Lotus Field is great, but I need something to do next turn with all of my mana. Play the Temple of Mystery. Put that on the bottom. Alright, I didn't think about this until now, and if I made this play, maybe I should have thought about it sooner. I can Hidden Strings, each is +2. So I have 3 mana at the moment. So I can go up to 7, and I can play Lier this turn. So that way I can avoid a Thoughtseize off the top. It's less mana going into next turn, but it would theoretically beat a Thoughtseize, and I think that's actually kind of huge. Alright, Lier. So I could have Hidden Strings again into like an Impulse or something. That was a possibility. There's no Sylvan Scrying in the graveyard. I was checking for that, because if there was a Scrying in the graveyard, we'd have a very easy win. Something to think about here is we've already seen Witherbloom command out of our opponent's deck, and most lists play it, but it does give a creature -3/-1. So if we block their Rafine's Informant and they have open mana, I could get really punished. They play a Greasefang. Okay. Parhelion coming back. They crew the vehicle. And now they're attacking for 13. No blocks. So they're telling me that I need to win now. Which, you know, completely understandable. I don't have a pair of Lotus Fields. It's going to be tough. Draw for turn. Another Grazer. Okay, so I think the first thing to do here is just start off with the Pore over pages. Because 1 mana to look at 3 cards is pretty good. So we'll do that. There's another Lotus Field. This should be pretty easy now. Discard a land. Float a blue. Play the Lotus Field. Okay. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Pore over pages. Here we go. Another Pore over pages. Discard Lotus Field. Okay, untap. Draw. Sylvan Scrying. We'll cast another Pore over pages because we can. Okay, discard a Sylvan Scrying. Cast another Pore over pages. Who doesn't love drawing cards? There's our Chandra. We'll discard a Grazer. We have 2 Bala Geds in the graveyard, which means we have 1 of them left. Cycle a Vizier. Untap. Draw. Dark Petition. Go get the Omniscience. Tap for blue. Play the Omniscience. Let's Impulse. We found the last Bala Ged. Sweet. Okay, so now it should be pretty easy. Cast the Chandra, and now we will copy, targeting our other 2. And now we'll minus and target them. And now we'll return the Chandra. We just loop. Okay. Target them again. This part's kind of boring, but it's how we win. They're at 10 life now. 2 more loops. Bear with me, or you can just skip ahead because we've won this match. Whoops, I think I got ahead of myself there. I was supposed to cast. Whoops. Cast with Omniscience. There we go. Let's not mess this up. I mean, even if I did mess up there, I have 2 floating mana and plenty of Hidden Strings in my graveyard for Lier. And now we'll get back to the Chandra. Cast her again. Opponent concedes. We're 3-0. How about that? 3-0. Let's see if we can win match number 4. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Once again, on the play, running hot. This hand is not so hot, though. We're going to send that one back. Okay, this one's fine. We'll keep it. Bottom one of the pour over pages. Awkwardly, I have to play the Bala Ged first. So you might be thinking, Bryant, why not play BeSageU, Grazer, put in Bala Ged Sanctuary? That's not a legal play. This is in your hand, the front of the card. Ooh, Mono-White again, and we have a clunker. Okay. A little bit worried there. Another Lotus Field is okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's fine. I guess I would need to draw running lands for that to be an okay draw, so maybe it wasn't very good. Okay, so maybe secretly not a very good draw. And turn 2 Thalia as well. Brutal. Draw. Okay. One more land. Hopefully this Arboreal Grazer can buy some time. Luminarch Aspirant, so that means that the Thalia is going to become a 3-power. We'll block here. Take 3. On deck, please. The land, which means I can play Lotus Field next turn, but I think we're just going to be too slow. That is a spell I can play next turn. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to beat their start. Into the Adeline. You know, this deck seems very, very popular. My last few times playing Pioneer, granted, it's been a little bit at this point. I didn't see the deck this often. Well, we're just dead. I'm going to concede. No point wasting time. Game 2. Some people live by the Reed Duke philosophy of, like, never concede! I think that's kind of silly, personally. Like, you're just wasting time, and time is a valuable resource. So, I question when you're supposed to never concede, that sort of thing. Like, playing to your outs is fine. If you're in game 3, whatever, do what you gotta do. But some people live by that every game, and I think it's kind of silly. Alright, so enough of me preaching. Let's board out some cards. Alright, that's 61. What do we board out again? I kept in the Chandra last time. I believe I boarded out the Shimmer. Check the sideboard one more time. It looks good to me. Let's click submit. On the play. Yeah, very good hand. Keep. Okay. Boreal Grazer. We'll put in the BeSageU. Pass the turn. So, I worry this is silly because I shouldn't think this way, but I do. I'm like, I wasted this like insane hand on a game 2 on the play. I would have liked this hand game 3 on the draw. But you shouldn't really play Magic that way because it's not practical. Like, you need to win each game one at a time. So, feel good about this hand. Don't get me wrong. But game 3 on the draw, you saw what happened in match 2, I believe, where I just got destroyed before I could ever cast my Ritual of Soot, and that's what I'm worried about. And there's the Thalia again. Strong starts. Okay, let's copy your Lotus Field while we can. Pass the turn. Right now, we have a lot of mana and not a lot to do. I've never seen this card before in my life. Alright, when it enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, I can cast it, but it costs 2. So it's just the Paulo Vitor card. Why can't I think of the name of that right now? Elite Spellbinder. Our opponent exiled an Impulse, and now they've gone to combat. We're going to block and take 2. Okay. Draw for turn. It's a Bala Ged Recovery. So this Impulse will cost me 5 to cast. Play the BeSageU, and I'm going to wait until they're on step. Because it is an instant. I don't need to play it in my main phase. They're getting in. We will block once again. Take 2. So we'll... Oh, they're attacking the invasion. I see. Okay. I was like, why did my life total not change before? So now their thing will flip. And it says that their creatures get +1/+1 counters. And they could sacrifice this to make their creatures indestructible, which is actually very good for them. When I boarded in a bunch of Wrath effects. They play a Hopeful Initiate, sure. Thalia's Lieutenant. So me playing the BeSageU out was actually not great. I should have read this card. I didn't. No excuses. Alright, we want to do something meaningful here. I think it's supposed to be Dark Petition. Okay. My plan here is Zakama. Okay, so Hidden Strings. Yeah, me not reading this card might have been a throw. Okay, or reading the back of the card at least. So each Hidden Strings is +3. I have 7 mana in play. I should be able to cast it. Black, red, green. Hidden Strings, target these. Yes, yes, no. White, black. So this costs 6. We'll use all the Dark Petition mana. We'll grab Zacama. Cast the Zacama. Okay. Attempt to kill the Thalia. That worked. Okay, that's good. So now I can Bala Ged Recovery back Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. We're going to destroy their enchantment. In response to this, we will kill their recruitment officer. This turn could have been a lot easier if I just knew how to read, but we're still in a decent spot. Also, I thought this and then didn't do it while I was clicking. I meant to cipher Hidden Strings onto Zacama, but I was too busy narrating my play. That probably would have been a little bit better, but sometimes I make play mistakes. That happens. Okay, take a draw. Thespian stage is a good one. Deal 3 to the Hopeful Initiate. Play a stage. Attack with Zacama. Pass the turn. They make a 1/1. The Thalia's Lieutenant gets a little bit bigger. Alright, so we've won game number 2. Now we have to win game number 3. I don't think I'm going to change anything. We're just going to resubmit and play a little bit better. Wish I could keep this. No dice. Any hand with Grazer, I just really value. So this gets Lotus Field and has a Wrath in it. I just worry that it's a little too slow. We'll keep. Bottom the Pour Over pages. Lanes into Hopeful Initiate. Yep. Play Bala Ged. Pass the turn. Thalia. All 3 games. Okay. That's tough. Play Lair the Hydra. Pass the turn. That Thalia bought them a lot of time. Oh, come on. I don't know if we're going to be able to race this. I think this start's going to beat me. Grazer was very good here. Is it? I don't actually think it is. So I can go get Lotus Field. Yeah, I have to just go get Lotus Field here. I think we might be dead. Alright, we're definitely dead now. Yep. I wasn't fast enough. Draw. This was our best draw, and it still doesn't do it. So we'll float a blue, play Lotus Field. Now, I guess if I drew a Hidden Strings or another Vizier here. Please be another Vizier, pretty please. Come on, deck. Come on. Draw. That's not it. We were just too slow. Cannot play a land. So, miracle scenario. I impulse into triple Vizier. Like, no, that doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. Like, impulse costs 3. Yeah, unfortunately, we were on the draw game 3. We got smushed. Path of Peril would have been huge here, but I cut it for those Supreme Verdicts. So, maybe we still want Path of Perils in our sideboard. It's really tough to say right now. Path of Peril would have been good enough. That's for sure. We were outraced. A little bit tough. Let's just chin up, win match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final round, we're on the draw, and I'm going to keep this. So while I was looking at in between rounds, I was looking at Goldfish, and something I found was that Mono-White Aggro is 3.5% of the format as of today when I record this. We faced it twice, like, that happens. But I was thinking about it, and Path of Peril is also good against rogues. The only thing that it doesn't hit is Shield Dread, which is obviously a pretty big doesn't hit, right? So that is an issue. But you could always overload it, that sort of thing. Against Spirits, Path of Peril hits everything that isn't Spell Queller. Spell Queller actually counterspells Supreme Verdict anyway, or counterspells it, exiles it from the stack, right? So maybe the sideboard should just have double Path of Peril in it. That would actually make a lot of sense with the way that the format's constructed at the moment. All right, Impulse. We did not find a Lotus Field, but we did find a stage. Also, my mouse in between these rounds has become very laggy. Not a big fan of that. Okay, pass the turn. I'm going to get my blocks in when I can. So we will block with our Arboreal Grazer. Land number 3. Fable. I mean, this is their best start. Yeah. Draw. We found Lotus Field. But we're still a couple turns away from really being able to do something. Pass the turn. Our opponent gets to loot here, looking for a Shield Dread. They discard a pair of Fatal Push. They're using a blood token. Okay. Discards a land. They found land 3. Graveyard Trespasser, sure. Not Shield Dread, big fan. They exile a Scrying. And they get in. Alright, so I fall to 15. Vizier was decent here. So let's cycle this. Come on, Hidden Strings. Let's see it. Draw. Omniscience. That was a little awkward. Okay, so what I'm allowed to do here is copy my Lotus Field and Impulse, so that way the Graveyard Trespasser does not flip. We'll take another Vizier. Pass the turn. So the Vizier guarantees the ability next turn to be able to cast Emergent Ultimatum. They have 8 power on board at the moment, plus this, so that's 11. I don't know how this adds up. So this is going to make me lose 1 life. Okay. 3 is not 0. And another Vizier. I'm sorry, another land. I am so out of it today. Oh no! I punted. I was too busy talking. So in order to win this way, you have to split your... I messed it up there. Oh, brother. Okay. So we'll play the stage. We're not... This isn't a loss yet. We're fine. Black. Well, I did make a small mistake. It's not game ending. Grab a Hidden Strings. Cast. You could even argue that this was better. I mean... Is that a good argument? I don't think so, but you could argue that. Play the Chandra. And let's copy an Emergent Ultimatum. Yeah. So, Dark Petition for Lier. And our opponent is conceded. Sweet. Okay, so my sideboard guide says that I'm supposed to board out Grazers. I want to bring in Leyline. And then the depopulates are for Shield Dread. My previous list had 2 depopulate. So here we'd want to bring in Supreme Verdict. It's a little bit tougher to cast, but I still think you want 2 answers to Shield Dread. You actually have 3 with the Chandra, so you could even try not boarding in the Verdict. Here I'm going to shave 1 Ultimatum, and we'll resubmit. We have the Leyline, but the rest of the hand doesn't play Magic. This hand could, but you're begging to draw land 2, and then you have to draw running lands? I don't know if your average 5 wins, so I'm kind of tempted to keep this. We'll get rid of... Do I really want 2 Wraths? That's another question. Yeah, we probably want 2 Wraths. Okay, Leyline. I have 2 chances to hit land number 2. That was a good one, but I still need to draw land number 2. No creatures, okay. Your deck is just teasing me at this point. Land number 3. Fable, yep. Draw. Come on, I should have been more specific. Non-Lotus Field land number 2. They discard a pair of Duress. Is this her? It is. Let's go to game 3. Draws were not with us. Try it again. Okay. Wow. Yeah, keep. Leyline of Sanctity. Sanctum, pass the turn. They play a turn 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Lair the Hydra. Scrying, we'll go get our Lotus Field. Pass the turn. Blood Tithe Harvester, sure thing. Another Lotus Field, not ideal. Take 4 over pages. I mean, Hidden Strings and Vizier are both fine takes as well. But if you think about how this game plays out, next turn I'm spending my entire turn copying. Either of those other cards I can't effectively use on our next turn. So I'm going to untap with 6 mana. If you're untapping with 6 mana, I think Pore is probably just the best card. Alright, so they're attacking for 3. I'll fall to 17. Draw. Behold the Beyond. We're just going to copy this now. Pass the turn. Go blank in duress. Leyline doing work. They fall to 16. Shield Dread the Apocalypse. Okay. So I'm at 12. I go to 10 with the draw. I'm allowed to cast Pore over pages here. We're going to do that. I don't like my mouse lagging. It's making me very nervous. Discard an extra Lotus Field. Okay. I'm at 4 life. Tap for black. Tap for blue. Dark Petition. We're going to grab Hidden Strings. Cast Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Player land for turn. We're going to get back the Hidden Strings. We're just going to make a bunch of mana here. Every time you get back a Hidden Strings, it's +1 mana. Get back the Hidden Strings again. Yes, yes, no. And now we can Behold the Beyond. So we have 5 open mana. We want Hidden Strings. Our opponent has 1 open mana. So Hidden Strings can bring me up to 9, which is 1 short of casting Omniscience. I think I'm going to do Strings Ultimatum. Okay, those will be the 3 that I select. Blue. Just have to not forget about the Shield Dread. Green, black, Hidden Strings. Cast the Emergent Ultimatum. Alright, so now we get Chandra, Lier, and Omniscience. Hold on. So if they give me Omniscience Chandra, I don't do anything, so I don't want that one. Grab Dark Petition. Yeah, this does it. We'll put Lier on the stack first and then Petition. With the Petition, we're going to go grab, I don't know, Omniscience? Alright, so now we will Hidden Strings on tap. Yes, yes, and yes. Put the Hidden Strings underneath the Lier. Hidden Strings again. Yes, yes, yes. Put it underneath the Lier. Omniscience. Hidden Strings again. Yes, yes, and yes. Put it underneath the Lier. And now we will Behold the Beyond. Grab Chandra, the last Bala Ged Recovery, and Adawara. Okay, so we will cast the Chandra, and I will cast the Bala Ged Recovery, getting back the other 2 copies of Bala Ged Recovery. And now I will deal them 5. Now we will return the Chandra, and we have the loop. Okay, return the other 2. I just have to complete this loop 3 more times, and it's 3 because they're at 11 and not 10. Here's another. Get back the Chandra. We got the 4-1. Okay, not bad, not bad. Let's open up the chest, see if we get anything good. Here we go. Yes, of course I want to open up all of these. What else would I want to do? I don't even recognize these. Mouse from Archangel. Some card from Aftermath. Maybe that will be worth something. Sacred Foundry. Okay. So, nothing too crazy there. About the deck list. Okay, so Chandra was interesting because she gives you a little bit more power in the matchups that are tough compared to something like Peer into the Abyss. So, like against Mono-White, for example, she kills a Thalia in game 1. Or a main deck Shield Dread that might be stopping you from casting Pore over the pages or whatever. So she's pretty interesting. I don't dislike her. I think that's something I'd want to try next. Might look a little bit like this. So we're going to duplicate this deck list because I need it for later. And let's add a Peer to the deck. And this just might be too much. Maybe you don't need 2 win condition. Technically 3 with the Lair, but I think I might be down to try something like 2 Ultimatum. And then Path of Peril in the sideboard. So I wasn't super impressed by Supreme Verdict. Maybe we could keep 1 if you really want it, but I think I'd almost rather just do this. If you want 1 Supreme Verdict in the sideboard, I think you could also maybe cut the 4th side. We didn't face any blue decks this week, but they do come in there. But Supreme Verdict also comes in against the blue decks, but I think Path of Peril is already good in those matchups. So you have to pick and choose your battles, or you could also cut the Depopulate, because Ritual works well with Lier. So does Path. So you'd be swapping Wraths that don't work well with Lier. I don't really have strong opinions on this, but it's something you could do. You might not even need Here plus Chandra. Maybe you only need one and you should just play triple Emergent or add in a third Dark Petition. There's a lot of options here that you could take. Once again, like my list prior to this had 3 Petition, 1 Pure, 2 Ultimatum. There's a lot of different ways you can build the deck, but let me know what you think should be done in the comment section. I am truly interested. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I think Chandra might be the real deal. That's at least my 2 cents. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.